Hey, welcome everyone to another episode of the Affinity streaming podcast. I'm your host, Contrell. Today's movie is Avatar: The Way of the Water. And joining me to discuss this masterpiece is Charlie, Riley, and Sarah. How are you guys doing?
Hi.
Good.
Hello.
Good to see you. Good to see you all. Avatar 2, The Way... actually, it's not called Avatar 2, is it? It's just called Avatar:
The weight of
Yeah.
The
water.
Way of the Water.
Yeah.
2022, rated PG-13. Runtime of 3 hours and 12 minutes. I think our last 3 movies have been 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
Long.
Not really.
Just speak
9
long
hours.
movies.
So before we get started, I'd ask you all to follow us on our socials. They are YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, the Affinity Streaming Podcast. All right. Jake Sully is back, but this time he has a family. Avatar currently streaming on HBO Max and Disney Plus.
Yes.
76% critics, 92% audience, 6.7 on Film Affinity. Directed by James Cameron. I will say that this was, to me, better than the first one. What did you think, Sarah?
Better than the first one? No. I'm sorry. The first one was like all new and the technology and also like the idea of the Pandora and everything. So like sadly for me, this one was a little repetitive and too long for some scenes. For example, like the scene when they move to the sea people, like eastern like place, and they're like people like from the sea. They like take too long, like to showing like all the how they learn to like being under the water and everything. So I think it was like too long. It didn't bring a lot like of new things for me. I still enjoy it because the visuals are perfect and the music was like solid and consistent with the first one, which I like it a lot. And yeah, they are great actors, so I think they were good. And but yeah, I struggled a couple times like being focused and paying attention because it was too long and it was like a little like more of the same thing. But
I agree. I thought it was too long. I was bored at parts. I was actually like expecting more from this, like after seeing the first one. I wasn't like such a huge fan of the first one. I enjoyed it a lot, but to me, like it was all about the visuals and that element. The story wasn't like that crazy innovative in the first one, and I thought this was like again the same. But now you didn't have like the new appeal of what the visuals brought for the first time 10 years ago or however long it was.
13
years ago.
It's a long time.
And like I don't know, I was like, okay, like you're doing the same thing. Now you just move to water instead of all in the air and forest and everything. So it was okay. I enjoyed some of the like battle parts and stuff, but it wasn't my favorite.
It was still entertaining, but
Yeah, I thought it was fine. It was like all it looks very nice. I was very impressed with all the water stuff. But yeah, I thought it was interesting because now it comes at a time when there's like every movie with a big budget has so much CGI in it that you don't even I don't think people care as much anymore. It's like less impressive now. But still the water stuff was like that was really good.
yeah.
I just thought the story was more engaging to me than the first one. Like the first one, the first story to me was like once you got past the prettiness. You know, I like to judge a book by the inside, not the cover. So
yeah, exactly. This book had like this book had no substance to it.
But I felt like the story was more
entertaining. This one,
more more entertaining. I was more entertained, and emotionally, the scene where they dropped the sons. Oh, I'm sorry. Spoilers are coming. Just in case you're not familiar with our MO. When they dropped the son's body into the little thingies at the end, I was like, Yeah, it was full on waterworks, man. It was great.
Sure.
Great movie.
I don't know.
That was
Like
my
really
favorite scene. Did you have a scene, Charlie, that stood out to you?
The one scene I did really like was like when they're stuck under the boats. There's the two pairs of them off to the different places. I like that. That to me, that was like one of the few scenes that had like a real emotional like connection, where it's like, oh, here's the son proving himself, like I can be a good son too. Here's the daughter doing her own, doing her own like unique way. Like she's different, but it's like it's good. It's in a good way. And to me, those messages really hit home, and like and it felt really impactful. And that was like really the only parts of the movie I was like, oh, this I feel emotion that the movie's trying to convey, and the rest was kind of like okay, like the older son died, but I kept expecting someone to die from like the very beginning. It was like set up that way. I was surprised that no one didn't. So when it finally happened, I was like, oh, okay, well, finally
Finally.
someone died. Like they kept like
Mhm.
teasing it, and like I wanted to like say because like I feel like it would have been much better if one of the parents died. I think that would have been much better. And then like you have like the older son try and like take their
More
place or
impactful,
something like
yeah.
that, or I would think it would have like a much stronger emotional connection. And also Sam Worthington I thought was really boring.
So you wanted him dead.
Yeah, I thought the parents were very boring. The kids were like interesting. They had their own dynamics, and
Yeah,
the
the
parents were
kids were.
so bland.
Yeah, my favorite scene was, which I actually like felt more emotion with. What are the big sea creatures? Tolkien.
Tulkun. Payanama.
Um,
Payanama is the best friend of the Loak.
Payakan.
Payanama is the Tulkun.
Sure.
Absolutely,
It is
absolutely.
Payanama. Do you want to bet?
There was no.
I don't know. I
No,
don't want to bet anything. I don't know any of the things. names.
Payakan.
It was the whale.
Okay, no, it's Payan. Oh, it's
It
Payanama.
was
You
the
wanna-
whale, played by Brendan Fraser.
Um,
He really disappeared into this role.
Look,
isn't it Payakan?
it's Payanama.
Where?
I'm gonna tell you.
You might have to edit
It's
this control.
The Tulkun, the whale-like thing.
Nah,
You just want to
it's
say
okay.
Payakan.
Payakan, like I said.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't bet.
Payakan.
Well, Payakan.
Okay, so my favorite scene was when like he's like the poor like lonely outcast one, and he's like making his connection with the son, and then it's like, okay, there's this battle happening, and clearly he's the only thing that's gonna like help them. I'm like, where is he? Like, it's his time, even though they're supposed to be these gentle creatures or whatever. He already is like outcast, so he has no obligation to that code anymore. It's like time for him to come in. And when he just like swooped out of the water and just landed on that boat
The
and
boat.
everything, I was like, okay, this like I enjoyed that scene a lot. I was happy he came back to like help and everything. Was good.
Yeah, and then all the water people like start like the fight too. That was like a hype moment. But my one first like favorite one is when the oldest guy, like oldest son, like dies, and the mother, Jake was like, I need you to stay with me, and she just like raised her gaze and her like eyes, and it was like she's ready to do anything. She's going like to go to Miles, like Colonel Miles, and kill everyone.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. They have our daughters. They have our daughters. I need you with me. And I need you to be strong. Right now. Strong heart. Strong heart. Let's go get our daughters.
It's like I felt like that was like a so much powerful moment. And yeah, and also from the film I enjoyed a lot like the dynamics, yeah, from the children, because as you said, like like Jake Sully like barely like, appeared, and it was like so like a minimal role here.
Yeah.
And
Same
I
with the
love
mom.
like the water people like took more like more minutes in camera kind of, like being more explaining how they live and everything, because it was more interesting than the same thing. But yeah, like the mother like going with the arch and everything, and then son for Son. That moment, it was like, she's ready. Oh my god! Like, okay, I wouldn't play with her. Like, I felt powerful and I liked it.
Yeah, but it really bothered me they didn't even like acknowledge that she was gonna kill him. Like, there's just no acknowledgement of it. They're all just fine at the end. It's like
Yeah, they're just like, oh, okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's
well,
fine. It's like, that would be
know
pretty awkward, right? Where he goes back with them, the woman who tried
Yeah.
to murder him.
What it felt
Like-
awkward for me was the Spider Boy, the guy that is like Colonel's son. I don't know. They barely had like relationship, and it's like just like they put that thing in there, and I feel like those connections were like, we didn't build the connection for the audience, so it felt like blah. And same thing for the kitty, like the adopted like daughter that it's from the scientist, the human scientist. Yes, like when did explain that? I mean, you assume like by the film, but it felt a little weird, like
Which?
having her like being like the adopted girl. I don't know, like why, like they had to put like an avatar human daughter. I don't know.
Yeah, it did feel like they glossed over her story a little
Right?
bit.
They were like, I don't
Yeah,
know, like
no, they were literally like, oh, she was born somehow. That's how they explained it.
They like
Yeah,
never said who her father was, and now all of a
Exactly.
sudden she has magical underwater powers to connect to the fish.
Yeah,
They just
I
like
know,
She
skipped
has
all
like
over.
all the connections with Awa. Like even from the forest, like before, she had like all the connections.
yeah, but that doesn't explain like the human like progenitor or something,
Well, yeah, that's why they were
No,
like making in the beginning, like assuming that like nerdy guy that was like always in the lab with Grace was like the father. But yeah, they never say.
No.
So.
Yeah,
no,
never
well,
said
it's
it.
it's just like magic, basically. It's just
Magic.
magic.
It's magic.
What it felt weird that they just like put that thing in there too, that the marine like troop, like the marine that helped like to kill the Tulkum to extract like the anti-aging serum, that was like, why? What?
It's just,
Are we
that's just
here
to fit
for
his
this?
message. That's just to fit his
Like-
message of like, oh, killing the environmental stuff is bad. But no,
Yeah.
I wanted to bring that up because that was so funny to me. It wasn't enough just that's like they're whales and it's sad to kill like whales. He even said like, no, they're very intelligent. They have philosophy and music and art. It's like, oh my god, Jesus! It wasn't enough. It's like they have to be just straight up evil. They're just evil bad guys. They're just oh my
That
god.
would feel awkward too in
That
the
was
plot.
so funny to me.
I want to talk about character that had a small part, but it annoyed me the entire time she was on screen, and that was Edie Falco. She played the general, and she was wearing this like exosuit and drinking coffee out of this huge mug, and for some reason that drove me insane, and I wanted to punch her in her face for that. So she's gonna get my vote for least favorite character. General Ardmore was her name, Edie Falco. She's actually don't like her in anything she's ever been in.
All right,
She's
I don't know what she's in.
Sopranos and Nurse Jackie.
Oh.
But anyway, she's my least favorite character. That dumb drinking coffee in the robot suit was dumb. And my favorite character was actually Spider, who I feel like some people might find annoying. But what about you, Charlie?
I did like it having there, but like Spider. But at the same time, like I needed more background to appreciate him, kind of thing.
Yeah. I guess, did everyone know that he was that guy's son? Because everyone seemed to know.
Everyone seemed to know.
But it was said like it was a reveal, like, but it wasn't a reveal, but because everyone knew. It was kind of weird. They made it sound like, oh, nobody knows who the father is, but everyone fucking knew. It was like,
I feel like we're missing a prequel somewhere for that movie.
I don't know. I think James Cameron has a version where it's like 6 hours or something. Probably.
I just took it as like everyone knew, but the rest of the like Avatar like community didn't, like, because it's like the general that came and destroyed their land, so they didn't want to say that. But like the immediate family, I don't know. I took it as like they knew and all the humans knew, but not all the Na'vi people.
Yeah, my favorite character was like the mother, like Neytiri.
Really?
Of course. And the daughter, Kitty. Because I think that she was the only one, like, bringing back the spirit of, like, the first one, like, being so, like, aware of nature and earth and water. I don't know, like that connection with more spiritual and more like being connected with Mother Earth and everything, instead of like all the wars and conflicts that they had, you know. It's like it was a little relief when Kitty was, you know, on screen, actually, like, oh, okay, what's happening now, instead
Yeah.
of like all the battles and problems.
Yeah,
I feel
she
like
was
there's
also
a lot to
my
explore with
favorite
her.
character.
Go ahead, Riley.
No, I was just saying she was also my favorite character. I completely agree with Sarah. Like everything when she was on screen, it's like, yeah, she has the connection. She has like this more like intense like energy that she feels like this community. I just enjoyed that a lot. It was refreshing compared to
Yeah.
the rest of them.
Yeah, and like, and you compare her to Spider, which I guess you're supposed to, and like, I felt her more emotional thing about being an outcast a lot more than his. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't really get him at all, but her, like, you got her, like, you got her thing and what was going on, how hard
And
it
also,
is.
I like a lot like the relationship with the Tolkien with Loak, you know, like when they bond, and
Yeah.
I don't know, I like that one, like that story.
Yeah.
That was good.
I
There
didn't
was
understand why Spider saved the general, the guy at the end, though. Like
Yeah,
out
that
of
pissed me
all the
off.
stuff
I
he
was
saw
like,
him doing, like, I guess because he
Yeah.
saved him, really, he didn't kill him.
it'll be for Avatar 3. That's why.
Have-
Because it's,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
his dad. It's his dad.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
one
I
second,
just
one
forgot.
second. If you were Spider, would you save the Colonel Miles?
Absolutely not. No.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't know. I mean,
Like, so you wouldn't save your dad even if he did something bad?
But he saw him do all that bad stuff. And then
exactly.
it wasn't really his dad anyway.
I don't know. But it's a
It
very
was just
simplistic
like-
movie, so, like,
Yeah, it was. I
they're
don't know.
basically, like, I don't know.
I felt like they did that only for the sequel, just to like
Oh, well,
save.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel
that
like
makes
they
sense.
did
Because
that.
who would be the enemy then? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Also-
probably.
New story, which would be more entertaining. but
Yeah.
it's gonna be the same.
Yeah. But like, yeah, I thought it was
Yeah,
funny you
I'm-
said that the mom was your favorite character, because that was my least favorite character.
What?
She's like, because she's barely a character. Like, just what does she like say? What is her like interactions? Most of what
She
she
was
does
killing
is
people
goes,
with
"Just
arrows,
make-"
man.
But she just makes noises of like, and she's just there so Sam Worthington. Yeah, she's just there so Sam Worthington can tell her like, no, you need to calm down. I'm gonna tell you how to do things the right way.
Wow.
That's like
Of course.
that's like all she does, and it's kind of like it felt really off to me. And, like,
I think
But
that
she had the
I
bow
mean,
and arrow.
I
that's
think
all she
this
was. So she was
movie
bow and arrow.
I think this movie was focused on the children, and the parents were just there, and when she
Yeah.
could like appear like and have like some like I don't know, role in it, like she was exercising like a mom, which I think like the everything in Avatar and Pandora like felt like too human for me. You know, like everything, like the roles that they have in a family, like maybe would be like different, like structured, because I don't know, they're not humans. So that's a thing that I didn't like a lot, but at the same time, like I overlook it because I think for the purpose of the enjoying like the movie, like you don't need to like pay attention to that. But yeah, I think as a mom, she played a very good role.
But she didn't do anything as a mom. She
She was doing what the
she
people
shot
had to do.
arrows.
That's what moms do.
I don't know. She didn't. There wasn't much like conversation. There wasn't much like she didn't do much acting. So
No one,
Well,
just like the
CGI.
kids. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. In this film, I would change, like, of course, the timing, we should like shorter, and I don't know, like not too much. I mean, of course, they have. We need a conflict to happen, but I would like to like see more like different conflict instead of like the same as Miles and Jake, and Miles like chasing him, and you
Yeah.
know, like the same thing that happened in the first one.
yeah.
So yeah, another type of conflict, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I completely agree. I mean, the thing that drove me crazy about the movie was that it was the same as the first movie. It was just like a little bit more added with the kids, and the kids were the part that I liked. So I wish like they took out a whole bunch of the other like kind of pointless stuff and added like more of the kids. I mean, they did a decent amount like in the water and them like learning, but I didn't like it that much because it was always like the sea like kids not really accepting the other kids, and it's like I wanted just to see like how they naturally would like be, and like I don't know, just a little more like development with those characters. But I'm assuming like that's where the next one's gonna go. I just felt like, yeah, I don't know, this was like a movie that was just like a bridge maybe between two other movies instead of having a good plot on its own.
Yeah, a very long bridge.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, the Avatar 3 will come out, I think, 2025. So it won't be like 13 years between
I saw
the
2024.
24?
It
Maybe,
just
yeah.
got pushed. It just got pushed back because of the writer's
Okay,
strike.
Okay.
What direction do you think the sequel is going to take?
I
It's
don't
probably
know.
the same thing. No, well, now he said
Yeah.
like, "Oh, now this is my home," which I thought was funny too, because it's like, I guess forget about your other home. I guess forget about those people. Like literally, they never mention them again ever.
Yeah, that's bad.
Well, I guess the forest just burned down.
awkward.
Whatever. Like whatever.
That was very
But,
awkward.
yeah, it's just. I guess now they're gonna fight again. It's probably gonna be very similar. There's gonna be something else they're trying to get, not the whales or the unobtainium. It's gonna be some other thing.
Oh,
They'll
yeah,
be
they
like,
will create
you can
another
get a
creature.
lot of money for this thing that we're going to have to destroy the environment for. And yeah. And then
Yeah.
Sam will be very boring.
Maybe
So
not.
what would you like it to be, though?
Like I said, I think it'd be better if the parents died. But I think it would have been better if they died in this one. Like, I think, like, look, the son, oh, he's screwing around, oh, he's a screw up. And then one of his screw ups, like, kills his parents. And it's like, oh, shit. And then you have some stakes. So you have, like, oh, real characters you cared about are gone now? Oh, no. And then he has to have a bigger, like, arc that he kind of had, but it was kind of wishy-washy.
Yeah.
And then you have, like, a much stronger character growth. And the kids, like I said, were much more interesting anyway. So you give them, like, a bigger chance to shine and grow and not have their parents just sit around and kind of mope and tell them what to do. I don't know.
I mean, for me, I feel like the whole like Pandora is divided into these like tribe communities that are these different. Okay, you have like the sea people, you have the forest people. I think it would be like nice to bring like more tribes together and see how they interact and kind of develop like another community or something. It would be interesting. They kind of did that a little bit here, but it's like just one family having more dynamic and interaction. I think they could take it to like another place where it's like, okay, this is now like a whole like more civilization instead of like tribe, kind of like evolving over time.
Yeah. I have another question for you guys.
Yeah.
If Miles was like threatening like the chief of sea people, and
Yeah.
he was like pointing like his wife. So would you defend the Earth people like in that situation, because you don't know? I mean, I think they barely know each other, so it would like, would I sacrifice everything like my people for this family that I barely know? I don't know what you would have done.
Well, I wouldn't, but like I don't know. They probably have some honor.
They're about
shit
to
going
kill your
on.
wife.
They probably have some honor
She's
shit going on.
pregnant. She's pregnant.
That's a different character.
Yeah, I
No.
probably wouldn't have accepted them. Like at the beginning, accepted them into your land, knowing they were on the run. Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Like
don't
you
like
would
bring that
have
up
told
again
if you
either.
were there, then you would have like say like, yes, they're here for sparing your wife's life.
Oh, I would have said like, oh, they're in the other village somewhere. I don't know which one, but they're in a different
I
one.
wouldn't trust the dudes to like let us live anyway. So I'd be like,
I'm not just
you have
asking.
to
I don't know.
hide 'em-
I mean,
hide 'em from.
I don't think I would do it, but I also like think that they live very much in this like warlike honor system, and it's like, okay, that like chief over there told them don't tell, and they're
Yeah.
gonna just like stand true to that regardless of what happens. Like they'll all
Yeah.
die before they say. Which like I
Yeah.
respect that. Like that's hard to do. Like
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hardcore. All right, so guys, finally, are we recommending this movie? Are we recommending it to friends and family?
Eh.
The
not-
silence explaining.
Yeah, I think
I don't
I
think
fit in with that
so.
70% or whatever critic score. It's like it's fine.
It is fine, but no, I wouldn't like be so enthusiastic. It's like, okay, if you watch the first one and you're like into like James Cameron like thing, so then yeah, like of course, but 3 hours, I wouldn't recommend it. Like
Yeah.
just
See,
No.
it's good for the airplane.
Good
that
for
is
the
true.
airplane.
That is true. It's good for the airplane.
Yeah, you don't even have to hear
You
what
wanna
they're saying to know what they're
appreciate
doing, you know?
Visuals so much.
That is true. But
All right,
I
let's
don't know.
suggest movies. Since you didn't want to recommend this movie, let's recommend a movie from the actors in this movie that you want people to check out.
I've got one.
This is an easy one. Go ahead, Charlie.
Well, it's not for actor; it's for James Cameron. My
Okay.
favorite of his is
Oh,
Terminator
cool.
2. So
You said what? Titanic is what?
Terminator 2.
Oh, okay. Terminator
Terminator
2.
2. I would recommend Titanic from him too.
Yeah, another one that has a boat that's sinking. He just really loves sinking boats.
Sinking boats. Riley, you have a suggestion for us?
I mean, I actually don't know, aside from James Cameron, I don't know, like, from the cast, a lot of movies that they did. But since Sigourney Weaver was my favorite character who played Geary, I'll just recommend the Alien movies, because if you haven't seen them, they're like classic old like horror movies, and like for their time, they're very good and like an interesting story. So I'll recommend that. And she is old and been acting forever. So I'm just have to say that for her.
You're not that old, Sigourney. We still love you. Okay.
73.
I'm gonna go Sigourney also, but I'm gonna go Galaxy Quest. If you've never seen Galaxy Quest,
I don't know that one.
Tim Allen.
Yeah,
great,
no, that's great.
great movie.
I think in
Sarah,
that,
recommend something
For
for us.
me, Kate Winslet, she played like the chief water guy wife.
Yes,
So
correct.
Kate Winslet, yeah, it was in Titanic too. So,
Titanic.
Shout out.
All right.
but I would recommend her like in Divergent. There is like a trilogy that she plays like a bad guy, and I loved her acting there. And it's like, good. I
my
enjoy
daughter. My daughter is gonna have something to say about that. She
didn't
loved
like
the Divergent books and hated the
okay.
movies. So
okay,
I'm gonna
so
let
we
her
can
know
go-
you said that. Shout out to
Of course.
Talia. All right. All right.
it.
All right. Let's wrap this up, guys. Charlie, give us a shout out.
Yeah, it's gonna be Father's Day on Sunday, so go tell your dads how much you care about them. You know.
Good
That
one,
was a
Charlie.
shout
Good
out.
one. It's a really good one, Charlie. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Riley, give us a shout out.
Well, last time, since I was shouting out the oxygen from the fires, now I'm just gonna shout out water, because this whole movie was about water. So yeah, water.
Yeah.
It's good. Drink it. Stay hydrated.
For me, water, but for the swimming pool. I want to be in the pool, like with the sun and just doing nothing.
What about the beach?
Well, beach too.
The beach is
would work. But
overrated.
it's a little cold now still, right?
Yes.
Yes, perfect.
And I'm
weather.
gonna shout out the Flash movie that's coming out this weekend that I will be first in line to go see tomorrow. Flash movie. I'm not gonna shout out Ezra Miller, but I shout out the Flash movie. All right, guys.
Are you gonna have a flash shirt on?
Who knows? Maybe I just go with the flow. I
I
don't plan
hope.
it out.
All right. Yeah.
You hope I have a flash on now.
Of course.
All right, guys. Thanks very much. Please give us a comment, follow, like, share, subscribe, email, whatever floats your boat. Next week we'll be doing Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
Yeah.
So we will see you then on the Affinity Streaming Podcast Network. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace.